see today as young people afraid of having no descendants anymore? That sound incredibly harsh. In the eyes of the older generation, this is absolute the most vicious curse in the world. But have you noticed a very strange phenomenon? When you apply these words to today as youth, not only are they not afraid, they actually seem indifferent. Today, let us have a heart-to-gun heart talk about what is actually going on with this generation. Are they truly selfish? Or have they just seen through life? People in the past were afraid because of raising children to provide for old age, because farming required labor, or perhaps because there was an actual throne that needed an heir. But what about now? Times have changed. Forget about raising kids for old age security. People can barely get through their own lives right now. Mortgages, car loans, the 966 work culture, 9 AM to 9 PM, little days a week, brutal competition in volume. Opening your eyes every day brings nothing but the pressure to survive. It's not that we aren't afraid. It is that we are not Buddha as crossing a river barely able to save ourselves. Many are living like beasts of burden, giving their all every day just for a few scraps of silver. How can they have any extra energy or courage to bring a new life into this world to experience the same suffering? There are always voices online criticizing young people for being selfish, caring only for their own pleasure, and having no sense of family responsibility. But in reality, it is quite the opposite. This generation might be the most responsible and clear gun-headed ones in history. It is precisely because we know the bitterness of struggling at the bottom too well, and clearly see how terrifying the competition for educational resources is, that we do not dare to lightly press that reproduction button. If, despite giving my all and draining the savings of 3 generations, I still cannot provide my child with a healthy, happy life with actual choices, if their birth means they only inherit my debt, my anxiety, and my low self-esteem, eventually growing up to become cheap labor in the eyes of others, then I would rather not give birth at all. There is a saying online that pierces the heart. If a child at birth is only to inherit one as toil, pain, and poverty, then not giving birth is a form of kindness. This is not indifference. It is actually an extreme form of compassion, because we can't bear to see them suffer. We don't to bring them into existence. Because we cannot take on that responsibility, we choose not to stop, taking another step back. The phrase having no descendants itself carries a heavy color of outdated feudal mentality. It implies that if you don't perpetuate the bloodline, you live your life in vain. But today, as young people have long awakened, we don't need to rely on reproducing offspring to prove the value of our existence. The meaning of life has never been pure top-down pacing, but to experience, to see this world, to deeply love someone, to pursue your passions, to keep a cleanly cat or dog, or even just to live out this ordinary life quietly and peacefully. That is also a form of fulfillment. Who says you only lived a valid life if you leave behind your DNA, the works we create, the people we have helped, and this scenery we have built along the way? These are the best proofs that we have been to this world. So, stop using words like having no descendants to morally hijack. Young people, procreation has always been just a personal choice, not a mandatory question on the test of life. When you stop treating having children as a KPI, key performance indicator, you will realize that the tolerance for error in life is actually quite high, and there are many ways to live. You in front of the screen. How do you see the matter of having children right now? Are you surrounded by an army of people pushing you to marry and reproduce? Or have you already firmly made your choice? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Let us talk about